secret. But then I realized he was trying to figure it out on his own like he should. We talked about it one night over takeout on my couch. He said he'd been going back and forth for weeks because the promotion was amazing, but he genuinely loved the project he was working on here. I told him honestly that I'd be sad if he left, but I wanted him to choose what was best for his career. I meant it this time. I wasn't saying it because I thought I should or because I was scared of being Becca. I meant it because I wanted Leo to have the life he wanted, even if that life didn't include me in the same city. He looked at me for a long time and then said he was turning it down. Not because of me, but because he really did prefer his current project and the team he was working with. The California office would mean starting over, and he liked where he was. I believed him, and that felt huge. 2 years after that first kiss, we were at the same diner where we used to have Sunday dinners in college. The food was still terrible, but we kept coming back because it was ours. Leo was nervous through the whole meal, dropping his fork twice and barely touching his burger. I thought maybe we were going to have another hard conversation about our future. Then he reached across the table and took my hand. He said he'd spent the last 2 years learning how to be his own person, and the best part was that being his own person made him want to be with me even more. He pulled out a ring and asked me to marry him. I said yes because I wasn't scared anymore. I wasn't scared that loving him meant losing myself, or that he'd resent me later, or that we were making a mistake. We'd both grown into people who could stand on our own, which made choosing to stand together feel right. We'd done the hard work of breaking apart and building ourselves back up separately. Now we got to choose each other not because we needed to, but because we wanted to. Planning the wedding turned into this weird reality check about what we'd actually become. I sat at the venue with the coordinator talking about seating charts and realized I was scheduling separate friend tables for Leo and me because we'd built actual lives apart from each other. My pottery class friends who'd never met Leo, his work buddies from the engineering firm who barely knew me. It hit me that we weren't those desperate kids anymore who couldn't function without each other nearby. We had our own hobbies and our own people and our own bad days that the other person didn't fix. Leo came home from work frustrated about a project, and I listened but didn't try to solve it, because that wasn't my job anymore. I had a gallery rejection that stung, and Leo hugged me, but didn't take it personally like it was happening to him too. We were choosing each other every single day instead of just defaulting to each other because we'd always been together. It was harder than I'd imagined that night on my couch when he first kissed me. Messier too because we had to actually communicate instead of just knowing what the other person needed. But it was better than any fairy tale version I'd been too scared to want back then. The wedding day came and Azariah stood up to give her speech looking exactly like Leo when she got emotional. She talked about watching us grow up next door, how she'd seen us spend 16 years perfecting friendship, and then 2 years completely rebuilding everything we thought we knew about each other. She said she'd never seen two people work harder for their relationship, or fight more to figure out how to be both independent and together. When Leo and I danced later, his hand steady on my back, I thought about how we'd almost lost each other completely, how we'd had to break apart and learn to be whole people separately before we could actually be together properly. Every fight we'd had about space and every night we'd spent apart learning who we were alone had led to this moment where I knew exactly who I was and still chose him. He looked at me and smiled, and I knew he was thinking the same thing. We'd done it the hard way, the messy way, the way that almost destroyed us, and I wouldn't change a single moment of it.